What is up, people? This is the Vinyl Casket, home to the lamest taste. My name is Nick, and as always, I'm straightening out my camera. I believe I'm in the middle. We'll just have to wing it. I really just want to have a great day. So, if you don't know, you can check out my YouTube channel at The Vinyl Casket, where you can subscribe, like, and comment for tons of really cool content from trailer reactions, movie and TV show reviews, anime and manga reviews, my weekly comic book reviews, which is everything off my pull list for that week. So in this case, this video will be on the stack. We do all sorts of other stuff, such as album reviews. You can check out Manny Reads Comics on YouTube every single Tuesday for the weekly roundup. And we do a lot of cool stuff. You can check out my Twitch at Vinyl Casket, where I've been streaming a lot of Apex and Elden Ring. And yeah, basically that's really what I do. I'll do every once in a while. I'll do like a different video, like ranking albums from a specific artist, talking about certain subjects, doing small little videos every once in a while when I get a chance to, but mostly just the reviews, right? So we're gonna start off. If you don't know, the way it works is we get them from our shop, our local shop, that always takes care of us, giving us the covers that we want and making sure I get books, even if they're hard to come by. Then we take them home, we read them, we bag and board them, we take photos in the light box for my Instagram at Valgasket Comics, and then we review them for you guys. We start indie, we work our way to Marvel, then DC. We're going to start off this week with the one we have from IDW's issue 2 of Transformers Last Bot Standing. And after issue 1, I was intrigued. I enjoyed the artwork. I thought it was an interesting concept of Rodimus being the only Transformer left, the only Cybertronian left. He gotten to that point and he doesn't really know what's going on, and we're just watching this civilization go on, and all of a sudden this Transformer shows up, and then next thing you know, their carriage, their wagon that helps people transport stuff all across the planet, turns into Rodimus freaking Prime and fights this thing. And then in this issue we get a lot more backstory of how really long Rodimus has been hiding on this planet, how he thought all the the resources were gone and there was nothing left, and he was just going to shut himself down and live as a vehicle on this planet, and that everyone was gone. And we find out that's not true. There is a huge group of Cybertronians left, Decepticons and Autobots working together. They have a veteran, which we don't know who the veteran is, and they're working together. They don't have no idea who Rodimus is, but they're excited about it. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting back and forth, and I really like the storyline, and I like these different robot characters are very corny, but like in a good way. Out of 10, I'm gonna give this a 7.5. I think it's if you're a Transformers fan and you're not reading the comics, this is the comic I would suggest, because I wouldn't consider this canon to anything happening in like the mainstream comics. Obviously, they have lots of offshoots, but like this is like a fun story. Moving to Boom, we have issue 20 of Mighty Morphin with the A cover. One of the biggest things, there's two big things that I think happen in this issue. The first being early on with the first panel that we see Kimberly the Pink Ranger. We get this whole revelation on her end, which kind of is, in my opinion, signaling to her leaving. Obviously, there was a second Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger towards the end of the Mighty Morphin saga of TV show. I would think season 3. But Kimberly doesn't become Zeo or Turbo, so she's replaced before the end of that. And the other 3 replacement Rangers have already happened through the comic series. So that dialogue kind of like gave me that possibility of her leaving the Mighty Morphin role, which is cool. The second being getting to see Rocky really step up, and his whole doubt about how he's not Jason, he's not Tommy, he's not these characters, he's not the leader, but like he is, like he's the rock that holds them together, and we get to see him using both the dragon dagger and uh what was it, the Triceratops? I don't even know what the Red Ranger's sword is called. But we get to see him use both, and he have the big breastplate on. That was really cool. I liked how they really took on this like different version of the why can't I think of what they're called, the Cog Empire. The Cogs, the you know what I'm talking, the villains from Zeo. Really interesting. I liked it, and I would say that this is going to be a solid closing in on that 7.5, 8 range. Um, Getting into Image, we got 2 books from Image this week. 2 smaller titles. One I think would be a little bit bigger because of who is the artist, not artist, the writer. But I would say smaller on their lineup. The first being out of their Top Cow books, issue 2 of Metal Society. I don't think this is the A cover. I don't know if it says it on there. I believe that this is a variant, but I could be wrong. So the first issue is really good, right? It sets the stage for this world and this big fight that's going to determine like the future of humans versus robots, and like it kind of explains to us what happened to humans and how they went away, robots took over, and then they were kind of like genetically brought back, like bred, like genetically modified and like lab ratted back, right? But this issue gives us so much. It gives us how the humans started to get roles back in society. It gives us how the main robot that's like viewed as a hero from the other robots was just a construction bot that is now fighting like this big thing that's going to change the whole world. But really, he just wants to get his job back. It shows like his whole origin story was on display here, where we get a better origin story for the human character, but I didn't think it was like as impactful as the robot character's origin story in this issue. We get to see how good he was at his job and how much he loved his job and how he lived in this pod and they had a companion and how happy he was, right? And humans campaigning to get a bigger role and get real jobs and blah 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 causes him to lose everything, right? The whole systematic thing kind of screws him, and it's just insane. Like, it's just a really good origin story that kind of makes him look like this really cool character that I really want to see. I want to see him win, even though I want to see the humans get what they want. I want to see hit, like, because like they're like, oh, you're a hero. He's like, not a hero. I just want my job back. Awesome issue, awesome book. I can't wait for the rest of the series. I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. We move on to issue. This is 2, right? Issue 2 of Twig, which was even better than the first issue, and I gave the first issue pick of the week when it came out. The backstory, the lead up, the actual impact, and like the challenge and the threat and the weight that was missing from the first issue, which just was fun and colorful and whatever. Everything's kind of fleshed out. We get to see what his dad looked like. We get to see flashbacks. We get to see flash forwards. We get to see this really interesting character in like the dark swamps, and it was just a really good issue. It really it sets the plot in motion. It gets things going. The artwork is incredible. Issue 2 Twig, it's a must read. Scotty Young, one of my favorite variant artists. I would say get it. It's awesome. When it comes to trade paperback, get it. It's so good. 9 out of 10 with that. we move on to Marvel with issue 3 of The Amazing Spider-Man by Wells and Romita Jr. While not liking the artwork, but liking the cover, um, I love this story. I'm really enjoying this. Um, they're really depicting the story well. I like the way the characters are being set up. I like the way how this is referencing stuff that we saw towards the end of Nick Spencer's run, and how elements that I really liked about Nick Spencer's run, which always left sour taste in my mouth, because he would build this thing up and then put it on the back burner, then mention it again and put it on the back burner. And then when his run ended and the Beyond thing happened, there was no mention of any of those loose ends. So now we have the whole year of the Beyond Corporation run, and now 6 months after that is this. So we're like a year and a half out of these storylines, and we're finally getting information, which is so strange. I like that mystery character that like is the one who has kids with MJ, which I'm still figuring out what the heck is going on. Tombstone's daughter and her Peter's old roommate, his dad. I'm loving all the chemistry and all the storylines and the way Peter's getting his ass beat. 8.5 out of 10. Awesome book. 3 issues in, it's been pretty good. It's been a lot better than I expected. And then finally from Marvel, we have issue 26 of Thor. This is part 4 of Banner of War. This is Donny Cates' crossover between his 2 books, Hulk and Thor. We get to see free, super fueled Hulk taking on a hulked out Thor, while Banner's psyche and the life force of Odin are trying to figure out what to do. Really interesting. I really enjoyed how creative this storyline is and how crazy powerful these characters are, and like it feels like weighed down. It feels like this has an impact waiting to happen, and I'm excited for it. Solid. I'm not reading Thor on its own, but this crossover has been so good. I'm gonna say a solid 8 out of 10. Moving on to DC. My first pick was I was gonna give this book a shot because of what this potentially series like of titles means. This is issue 1. Well, so this is Multiversity issue 1 of Teen Justice. So I liked it because even all the variant covers of this, most of the variant covers, I believe, have this spine, right? So this is Earth's 0 all the way to Earth's 51. So that's the multiverse, right? So this potentially leads me to believe, because we're on Earth 11, right? And Earth 11 is the one that has the white on it, right? That's the one that's highlighted. So that means Multiversity has the potential to be multiple series, each taking place on different Earths throughout the multiverse. And I would like that. I would like to see glimpses of different teams and storylines in these different Earths, right? So we start off with issue 1. It's a Pride issue for Pride Month. Teen Justice, which is basically like the Teen Titans. And this is a world where most of the heroes are the opposite gender of what they are in main continuity Earth 0. So I thought that was really cool. So instead of Superboy, you got Supergirl. Instead of Robin's the same but just female. Instead of Aqualad, it's Aquagirl. You have a new witch character, and also having Raven, but Raven's a boy. So I thought it was really cool that they basically replaced Raven's slot as the mystical magic character, but still left them there. Kid Speed was really cool. Being non-binary character. Troy being like the male version of Donna Troy. Yeah, that was the team, I believe. Really cool. We get to see this random new character that just doesn't seem to have any powers or anything, but like kind of accidentally falls into the Church of Blood and brother was it Brother Blood? I'm really excited. They're taking on Hive. It was really good writing. I like the way these characters were like personified and depicted. I like the artwork. I thought it was pretty solid. Wasn't expecting much from it. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's nothing amazing. It's nothing important. It's nothing impactful. But it was a fun read that I didn't regret, and I wanted to check it out because I thought that it was different. Moving on to Batman Beyond Neo War 3 with the cardstock cover. And oh boy, cool cover. Um, Flushes out some stuff. We have, a cool relationship between him and a cop. Is basically going to be his um, Commissioner Gordon. Barbara Gordon's retirement party was really cool. I liked how that's all flushed out. And I love how the revelation at the end, taking on like this new villain that's going to be in the next issue. I really like that. Well, not really new. We kind of saw them, but like a new personification. Really cool issue. Awesome series so far. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. We move on to issue 124 of Batman with the cardstock cover. Awesome cardstock cover. And I thought it was a pretty solid issue. My only big gripe here is that I'm kind of annoyed that we're back on this Abyss stuff. And I am excited for Batman Incorporated. I think that's really cool. I'm excited for that. I know that kind of spawned out of this Abyss story. But now he goes after Abyss, who's still around, and it turns out to be the detective that was helping him on the case originally, pretending to be Abyss. It was okay. It was interesting. How Barbara Gordon was portrayed was cool. I wish they would just establish as like they say Oracle's lair or whatever. Or they say this or they that. In the Batgirl series, she's in a freaking apartment. In this series, she's in a lab. In this series, she's in a cave. Where is she? Clock Tower's gone. Just say she's in the apartment. End of story. Solid issue. That's my only real gripe is that using Abyss again. I'm kind of over it. I want to see something different. Gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10. Also, he's supposed to be dead. Issue 7 of 12 for Dark Knights of Steel. This is Tom Taylor's Elseworlds fantasy night book, right? Medieval book. It's sick. That's Beast Boy. Didn't even realize that until reading the book. This fleshed out some a corner of this universe that I thought was really cool. So where the Titans exist, Ra's al Ghul being Etrigan was really interesting to see that more fleshed out. See the revelation of like Batman coming to the terms that he is also super powered and the ramifications of his past actions. Yeah, really good issue. The whole nightmare sequence was really fun. Artwork here is awesome. Gooden. Solid book, solid series. 7 out of 12. Can't wait. I hope there's no one shots. I know that they're already doing like a ton of one shots for DC vs Vampires, which is annoying me because it's a series that I couldn't really get into at first. I got like one issue and I was like, not a fan, whatever. But the more I see it, the more I want to get back into it. So I was like, okay, when the trade comes out, or the two trades, however they want to do it, because I think it's 12 or 13 issues. I'm like, when that trade comes out, I will get it. And now there's one shot, Hunters and All Out and this and that. And I'm like, God dang it. I just want to read DC vs. Vampires, but now you're adding all these one shots before the series is even over. I hope they don't do that with this. I would just like to see this, then maybe, a volume 2. The kind of the way he does Deceased, which has Deceased 3s coming out. Really cool. This is an 8 out of 10. We go to issue 1 with a cardstock cover for Poison Ivy. Awesome cover. Awesome book. I like the internal artwork, which was by Takara. I think I said that right. This is an awesome cover. Awesome artwork. I like the way they're depicting Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy. How I like her strategy and her plan here. How she's like spreading this kind of fungus infection that is like slowly killing like not really slowly, but like infecting, spreading, covering, and killing cattle and humans, and turning them back into the soil, feeding them back into the world. And like when they kill that person, it puts them to a surreal state of euphoria. So you're happy when you're dying. I like this plan. I like this like revenge, how she's writing a letter and she's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't believe you, Harley, I really messed up. Really solid. I thought it was a really cool plot. I can't wait for issue 2. This is an 8 out of 10. And then finally onto the last book, which I have 2 covers for, is going to be issue 1 of Dark Crisis. So we have the cardstock cover variant from Bruno Redondo. Right? I said that right? Yes. Bruno Redondo along with Adriano Lucas. Awesome cover. Sick cover. Got the big bat family here. And then we also have the ratio 1 of 100. 1 out of 100 ratio cardstock by Greg Capullo. This is I know it's really hard. There, that's a good one. It is a virgin cover, so no text on the cover. It's on the back, which is also foil. That has a different coloring version of this, along with the title on the back. This is 1 out of 100 virgin foil Greg Capullo variant. So this cover is available as a regular cover with the title here, no foil, right? So this is a fully foiled out virgin cover. It is the 1 of 100. So in order for a shop to get this cover, they had to order at least 100 copies of, not this, but of Dark Crisis 1. So I don't think that mattered which covers you got, like cardstock wise, because the cardstock covers are just general covers like A, B, C, D that you can just get. So I believe that the total, so like if they ordered 200, the shop should have gotten two of these. There's a 1 in 25, 1 in 50, and a 1 in 100. I believe my shop had gotten like 7 or something, or 5 1 in 25s, 2 1 in 50s, and 1 in 100. And I got the 1 in 100. I got a really good deal on it, really good steal. Reached out to me. Wonder if anyone wanted these. I assuming that I got to him first. He saw my email. He said, "Yep, you can get it, no problem." I got there. He gave me a way lower price than I was expecting, like a very affordable price. So I didn't even have to break the bank for like a 1 in 100, which is crazy. I don't think I've ever gotten over a 1 in 25. I've gotten 1 per shops. Variant covers, like I believe it's like there's a Seven Secrets cover that's a virgin cover that I have that's like a 1 per shop exclusive. I have that stuff. But never 1 in 100. Awesome cover. Talk about the book. Crisis. Dark Crisis 1. I like it. It's fun. It's refreshing. We get to see a lot of characters, a lot of stuff going on. a lot of different plot points being developed here and being flushed out and presented in front of us, and I'm excited about it because um, Flash is clearly going to be a big character here, as well as the future state version of the Justice League is kind of being starting to get flushed out, right? And I'm very excited about that because it's going to be really cool to see that revelation and see some form of that team. Um, I love the whole scenes with Dick Grayson, like his whole future, like his whole life, like all the different scenes of like the different Teen Titans and everything, and how this book is really going to focus on Teen Titans and Young Justice and this new Justice League and these younger characters taking the roles of like former characters. I liked it, and I also loved how no one trusts Black Adam, which makes no sense because he's been a part of the Justice League for like a year now. Um, I don't know why Shazam was even there because Shazam is supposed to be like in like another dimension. But he's like, do you trust Black Adam? Like, what do you mean, bro? You're working with a different version of Black Adam, like in your other world with him and the dude with the wings from Teen Titans Academy. Um, that annoyed me. I didn't like how Hal was very well. I understood why Hal Jordan was very against Black Adam, but I didn't like. Oh, I know. I loved how Black Adam is like. Why do you need two Blue Beetles? Because they present this Justice League, right? And you got Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, and then you got Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle also. Like, what? It's really cool. Supergirl, whole really weird cast of characters. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for this. I'm gonna give it a 7.5, bordering on an 8 out of 10 for me. Awesome cover. I'm very excited to have this. Very hard to take a picture of this, but I do enjoy it because it is beautiful. With that being said, guys, those were my picks for the week. Check out my Instagram throughout this weekend to see my uploads and mini little bio reviews and what I have to say about each issue. Please check out my YouTube channel at The Vinyl Casket, where you can subscribe, like, and comment for much more content like this. Eventually, when I start to finish some of my omnibuses, I will be doing videos on that. More movie reviews as I go to the movies will be coming out. I've been taking a break from manga, but when I get around to that, I will be doing a manga review. I know I never did an April update or a May update. I think I only read 2 books like in May. I wrote a couple in April, but I've kind of been reading like a regular book that's not manga. And I kind of took a break from that, but we will be getting back into it eventually. I have to get the next couple of volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen and a couple other series that I'm in. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much. This is the Vinyl Casket, home to the lamest taste. Do me a major favor and stay lame.